Good morning, class. Today we're going to continue talking about the positive aspects of bacteria, and why our body needs um, bacteria to stay healthy. We always talk about washing our hands because of the situation going on right now, and washing your hands is important, of course, yes, especially when you're coming from outside. But we also want to make sure we're not over sanitizing everything in our homes. Like if we're always washing the counters and washing the tables and disinfecting everything with Lysol and washing our hands, we're not going to be able to get the important bacteria that we need to stay healthy. Because believe it or not, bacteria also plays a role in keeping us healthy. So let's watch this short little video clip about this medical doctor talking about bacteria for better health.
Ever uttered the phrase, listen to your gut? Health experts are putting more and more importance on the potential of gut bacteria. We all have it growing inside us, and it plays an important role in our well-being.
So it really is pretty much one of the most important things if you think about it, because everything that you put into your body has to assimilate. If you don't have the proper gut bacteria, you cannot digest your food properly.
Teresa Spano, a naturopathic consultant, says gut bacteria can be linked to a variety of health issues far beyond our bellies.
It's also people who do have recurrent sinus infections, recurrent vaginal infections, UTIs, or they're even showing good probiotics can help decrease signs of anxiety and depression.
Probiotics are the live bacteria that's considered good for gut health. By keeping it in proper balance, experts believe it betters digestion and increases immunity, benefiting the body as a whole. It occurs naturally in some foods, including yogurt with live-acting cultures.
And there's also something called prebiotics, which help feed the good bacteria. And those are really foods like asparagus, chicory root, onion, garlic, leeks. Those are good prebiotic foods to help boost up your bacteria.
Our stomachs and intestines contain tens of trillions of bacteria, and it's unique to each of us, just like our fingerprints.
So now we're really figuring out exactly all the different jobs that they had that we just weren't even really aware of before.
For Lee Memorial Health System, I'm Amy Usher.
Okay, so. Alright, so that was telling you about probiotics and what that does for your health. It helps the good bacteria in your gut flourish, or helps it keep doing its job. And other videos that I've watched have told me that bacteria plays many different roles. So some bacteria helps your colon process properly. Other bacteria helps break down food. Some bacteria, the good bacteria, will fight off the bad bacteria that can make you sick. Right? So, we're talking about washing our hands and keeping them clean all the time. But like I said before, make sure that you're also not overdoing it with always washing your hands, because you do want to have that good bacteria. Or you can buy some of these foods that have probiotics in them, like yogurt might be a favorite for kids. I don't know about onions and asparagus, but why don't you tell me what food do you like that she mentioned that contain probiotics? I was also looking for other videos on this topic, and I found one that had a really interesting story along with it. If I remember correctly, it was about the soldiers in World War I and how they were marching through someplace like Egypt, I think. And the soldiers were having a problem where they were marching and people were coming down with dysentery, which is an infection that causes diarrhea. So, unfortunately, they couldn't march anymore because they were just getting sick and having diarrhea, and a lot of soldiers were getting left behind just to perish because they couldn't continue the march in battle or whatever. So what they did is they sent a scout to the enemy. A scout is somebody who goes to spy on, to see what your enemy is doing, right? To see if any of the enemy people were getting sick and what they were doing to help them, to treat them. And this is going to sound a little bit disgusting, but believe it or not, what this guy said is that the enemies who came down with dysentery or diarrhea, the Egyptians, they would eat camel poop to stop the infection of diarrhea, because apparently in the camel's gut there were a lot of bacteria that, I guess, fought off that infection. It was really gross. I know that you're probably like, ew. I'm not saying nobody should ever go out and look for. Anyway, I don't know if I should cut this part out, but I thought it was interesting. Okay, I thought that was interesting. I was like, what? They're eating, like the people who are trying to be clean and stay disinfected are dying of diarrhea, and the people eating camel poop are living. It's like, it really shows you how important some bacteria is for good health, right? To stay healthy, right? So you definitely don't want to cut out all the bacteria in your life, or you could become very sick, or your immune system in this time of quarantine could like really go down and weaken, so that when we're finally released back into the society after this coronavirus is over, hopefully people aren't going to start getting like massively sick because their internal bacteria is all changed around by protecting yourself, overly protecting yourself and that stuff. So what should we do? I say definitely when you come into the house, before you come in, maybe you might want to sanitize your hands, right? I was watching a video where in China, I think they only let the kids stay out of school for a very short time during the coronavirus, and they put a lot of things in place to make sure that the kids were safe while they were in school. For example, before coming into the school building, everybody would step into like a little area, a dish or something, a kind of square thing that had disinfectant in it, so they disinfect their feet, so they're not walking into the school with the germs from the street, or anybody could have sneezed anywhere. So you walk in and you walk over somebody's sneeze, you might have coronavirus in your feet. So it makes sense to disinfect the feet before you come into school, right? Clean your hands before you come to the school. They also, during lunch, they set everybody up at their own desk with like a panel around them, so they're only breathing their personal space, air. I don't know if that, all these things are probably good to make sure kids stay healthy and stuff, but as long as you're coming in and disinfecting your hands and feet and whatever, I think you're not going to be bringing germs in from outside. So, that could be, something everybody should try to do. What kind of suggestions do you have? If you have any suggestions on when we return to school, what kind of steps can we take to make sure that we don't spread the coronavirus? Okay, that we don't. What kind of things? Do you have any suggestions on how we can stay clean? Why don't you type that in the comments below? Okay. Yeah, so I think that was it's pretty much all I had to say. Yeah. Stay clean, but don't overdo it, okay? Because we need bacteria. That was the whole point of this week's lesson. Yeah. Thank you.